time as we're writing. And at this point, I'm going to pass the voice over to Cornelius. And this was, all good teachers really shift as things happen. And before last Wednesday, we obviously weren't planning to have a discussion on the happenings of last Wednesday. But all right, all you, Cornelius.
On that note, I think it is important for us to pause as a community, as a society, right, to reflect, think, and learn about what's been happening in our country and why. About a week ago, protesters and rioters, stormed our nation's capital. In some sense, some people may look at that as many people at one point looked at it as a political insurrection. However, if you peel the layers of the onion, you will see that there was a lot of very strong racial undertones involved in that whole event. There was many white nationalists and white supremacist groups that was planning an attack on the Capitol, the powder keg was there. All they needed was a match, right? I personally felt very disturbed that the Confederate flag was also ushered in our national capital. And so when we talk about, the history of race in America, which was understanding race, which was part one of the things that I hope people learned was that the system of race that never existed before was created in order to keep a certain group empowered and keep a certain group wealthy, right? To make sure that there was the group at the time was Native Americans and African Americans oppressed, so that white landowners, that their wealth wasn't threatened and that they would remain in power. Since then, there's been systematic structures created to maintain that exact same system, even though the 13th Amendment freed slaves and we had Reconstruction and all that stuff. The remnants of slavery and the remnants of that oppressive system still exists today, right? And it's not only does it exist today, but it is systematic, and there's certain groups that benefit from that system, and they're going to do everything they can in order to maintain that system. That is what the insurrection was all about, right? For the first time in our nation's history, in Georgia, was a Black man elected to the Senate on Tuesday, and then a Jewish man was confirmed to be elected to the Senate on Wednesday, in a state that was a stronghold of the Confederacy, and that was known for its racist and Jim Crow acts. And so there's a element of people who feels that they're losing ground, they're losing touch, they're losing power, and we have to, as President Trump said, stand strong, right, to take our country back, which are very coded words, right? So the insurrection that happened last week is not just political. It's very much grounded in race. And so what we would like for you to do is to take we're gonna go to some breakout rooms, and we would like for us before we move forward is just to take a moment to process together, right? You know, what are some of the things that you noticed from the events on Wednesday? What was just some of your noticing, right? So I mentioned some of mine already, but what are some of the things that you noticed? How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel? And then have you discussed those things with your kids? And if you did, how did you go about doing that? And so we're going to go to, into breakout rooms. We probably spend about 20 minutes in breakout rooms discussing these things, and then we'll come back